Let me know if you can hear me well. Thank you, Live Pretty. Appreciate you. How's everybody doing? Where are you at? What's up, NY? Good to see you tonight. Can y'all hear me good? Can you hear me good? I ain't seen no comments. Oh, you can hear me good. Okay, what's up, Miss Gilliam? So tonight, I'm a little late tonight. I typically come on a little bit earlier, but I said I'm gonna go live anyway. What's up, California? What's up, Chicago? What's up? Oh yeah, it's my videographer's fault. Martin, it's your fault. What's up, Faith? What's up, Alexandria? Tell me why did you join tonight? What do you want to talk about tonight? I have an idea of what I want to talk about tonight. I may not stay live too long, but I do want to talk about a particular topic. What's up, South Carolina? As you know, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and this weekend is the Super Bowl here in Phoenix. So it's actually Black history being made because I heard that both of the quarterbacks, is that true? Both of the quarterbacks are melanated? Somebody say yes for the melanation. So history is being made, and I believe that we are all called to make history. Some of you may know my story. I made history in the state of Arizona back in 2003, where I fought the State Board of Cosmetology in order to be able to do natural hair without a license, right? And so I thought it was unfair that I had to go and learn certain things that they didn't teach because our texture was not in consideration when the curriculums were made, right? But we all have history to make. And so tonight I want to talk about becoming. Where we going to start? I was thinking about this idea that there's only two things that we can do in life, right? Because when we recognize that there are circumstances that can keep us from becoming, right? What do I mean by becoming? Everything that you will be, all that you already are, has to go through a process of becoming, right? And you might ask, well, what do I need to become? Well, you become more of who you are. But the reality is when we come into cultures and families and societies, labels get put on us. Expectations get put on us. Filters get put on us. And so as we journey through life, we recognize like, dang, I'm not actually who I've wanted to be. And I haven't become that person because of all of the things that have been placed on me. And so there's only two things that we'll do. We either succumb to the circumstances and our surroundings and all the pressure, or we become. How do we become? All that we already are. I was talking to a friend, actually more than a friend, and a lot of my friends, because I just started being more vocal on social media, you know, some of them will come back to me and even though to some degree it's a surprise to me because I didn't completely understand what was inside of me, my friends seeing me from the outside looking in is like, you've always been that person. You just weren't aware. And so when our gifts are deeply locked within us, we don't completely have understanding of what that fruit looks like if we were in the fullness of that thing and not afraid. And so my question to you is, who would you be if failure was not an option? Who would you be if you weren't concerned about what somebody else would say? Who would you be, or what would life look like if money was not even an issue? I think sometimes we get scared to even ask ourselves those questions, because if you were to close your eyes and ask yourselves those questions and just think to myself like, dang, what is it that I really want to do? And if I knew I couldn't fail, like, how would life look? How would it feel? Right? And so the reason why I'm closing my eyes is because sometimes our eyes can deceive us. Our eyes are an indication of our limitations. Why? Because our eyes can only see but so far. But when we close our eyes and we get into our imagination, our essentially it's a characteristic of who God is, our creativity, we can see life for what it actually should be. So now we close our eyes to this world and we get into the spirit and we start asking ourselves these questions like, who really am I? What would I do if I couldn't fail? I mean, I don't know if this is something that you think about, but if it has not been a question that you thought about, this is something that I highly recommend. If you are trying to become, this is a part of the process. The person that I have been being, right? The person who I have learned to be, have habituated myself to be, it has brought about a certain level of results. And so I always think about, like, if I were to close my eyes and I started to really think about what would it look like to live life without limits? What would it feel like? And then I open my eyes back up and I recognize that I'm not living that life. Now, first, let me quantify this life. This life is not the life of, how do I say this? This is not the life of just trying to live life from a carnal perspective, like all of the things that our flesh wants and the pride of life and the lust of the eyes and the lust of the flesh. No, not that. I'm talking about your deepest desires that God has placed in you, where he shows you how great you are, right? That person, that life. But when we open our eyes and we recognize that our life is not a reflection of what it is that we see in our heart and what we see in our mind, this is where we have to take responsibility. And I think a lot of times when it comes to becoming, we have to take the responsibility to do whatever work that it requires. What work is it going to require for you to become and not to succumb? And so last week we talked about, what did we talk about? Last week, I was just talking about the opposition to your obedience, or the opposition to you walking into that purpose or that opportunity that you have around you, or, that is in front of you. And so many times, a lot of that opposition comes from these outside forces, but it also can come from within. And so we find ourselves like feeling this opposition, and then we end up succumbing to who we've always been, as opposed to walking into who we are called to be. Are we going to succumb or are we going to become? And so I personally made a decision to become, and it's scary to decide to become, because to become is to go out into the unknown, to step into something that you've never seen before. You don't know, you don't have certainty of what it's going to be, but you decide to do it because you already know what it looks like here. I've been here and I've done that. And so even me deciding to step out into the uncertainty of what God was calling me to do next, I got so frustrated with who I had been. And it's like you find yourself feeling stuck. You find yourself feeling that you're tight, like you are you're just in a tight space. You're in a crawl space, and there's no room for growth. There's no room for you to spread. Come on now. And you know the dreams that's inside of you. You know you want to open that business. You know you want to write that book. You know you want to start that podcast. But there's just that fear of, like, what if I fail? What if it don't work? I don't even have enough money. You know what I mean? And so we get locked into that space and we succumb to the mental pressures. And so I'm imploring everybody on here today. Thank you, Essence. I'm imploring everybody, listen, get a piece of paper, write down, what's up, Jose? Write down, who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? And a lot of that becoming, again, it's really becoming aware. It's becoming aware because we have been conditioned to think we are who we've been told to be. And so we've been that person, but we haven't understood what it means to actually be who we actually are. Tarina said, we have all the responsibility to bring forth the unseen. We're held accountable for the gifts that we are blessed with. Come on now. We can't be burying it. We can't bury it. And so I asked myself this question, and I know what God had shown me. I know what he had said to me. And I was like, I'm about to go for broke. Listen, at this point, I ain't got nothing to lose because I'm so frustrated in this place. I feel so stuck. And it's scary to step out and to shift into a place that you've never been in before. And so for me, being in the hair industry, doing hair for over 20 years, being in that place that was very comfortable for me, but I got to a place where I was like sick and tired of, like, I never thought that I would get tired of doing hair. I've been doing hair since I was a teenager, making money. And then I just felt this grace just lift my life. And I was just like, I don't understand what's going on. I feel so unmotivated. I feel so uninspired. What do I now do? Because I don't want to force something. And so for a season, I thought to myself, like, dang, maybe I just need a vacation. Maybe I just need to take more breaks. Like, and God was just like, no, it's because it's time for you to shift. And so some of you are in this season of knowing it's time to shift. Like, the things that you were so excited about at one season of your life no longer, like, they don't fulfill your desire. And so sometimes we think that we're supposed to be in a place all throughout our life. The live ended. Is that 20-minute thing? I thought we upgraded. We did. Lord have mercy. If you are still on, are we still on YouTube? Dang. Well, if that's the case, we'll just go until 30. On the table, on the charger, in there. You didn't have Instagram open, did you? I don't think so, but that was 20 minutes, right? Or that wasn't even 20, right? 11 minutes. Hold on, real quick. Let me go grab it. You can click not live. I don't think that got nothing to do with it. It wouldn't even let you go on, right? Martin, if we have one more technical difficulty, in Jesus' name. And I'm back. I don't know what happened. Y'all.
This only happens to believers.
So, as I was saying, I lost my whole train. I don't even know where we was at. It'll come back though. Can't hear me. They can't hear me. Somebody can't hear me. Let me know.
Can't hear you.
No, they cannot hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. If that's just one person. If it go off again. These comments be coming in late.
Shifting.
What'd you say?
That's what you were talking about, shifting.
Oh, yeah, the shift. Thank you. We're good. All right, cool. All right, so shifting. Thank you.
Everybody can hear you.
If everybody say, yeah, they say, I can hear you. Cool. So dang, I was in a flow. See, the thing is, I got to stay in that place. Otherwise, I just be like, Lord, I know I was talking about shifting, but what exactly? Shifting, you feel unmotivated. But yes, okay. So there was just this frustration within myself, and I ain't gonna say I pride myself on, but I can sense seasons of my life. I can sense when things are shifting. I felt when the Lord was leading me back to Arizona, and I moved back off of a word. I was 23 years old at the time. And then I felt when God was telling me it was time for me to open a salon. And when I opened the salon, I was 25 when I signed my first lease. And at that time, I was so fearful of opening my salon because I didn't understand what, this future was going to look like. And so I only had I had 1 year, 12-month faith. I had faith enough to sign a lease to say, I'm not sure exactly how long this is going to last, so I'm just going to sign this lease for a certain amount of time. But every season of my life, I felt when God was saying, it's time for you to do more. It's time for you to shift. And so I started getting super frustrated with doing hair. And as I was stating before, I was thinking maybe I just need a break. Maybe I just need to, go on vacation or whatever. But every time I would come back, it was getting stronger and stronger. And so I started preparing my clients and letting them know, like, I know I've been telling you for years, but the time is getting closer. And I knew what I was going to be doing next, so to speak. But as I shifted out, I was teaching hair. So I shifted from doing hair to teaching hair. But then it became a place and time where God was telling, like, it was like, I don't even want you teaching anymore. I need you speaking. And I'm just like, what? What am I going to speak about? Like, I have nothing to say. And so because I was still just like fearful, I just went in circles. Because I felt like, okay, I've succeeded in this mountain. I've succeeded in this area of life, and I've climbed this mountain. And so sometimes our successes can almost be like our greatest setbacks because we're so holding on to that former success, not understanding that there's greater, right? So in the art of becoming is evolving into this person that God has already placed in your heart to be. But me almost succumbing, even though I was frustrated and I knew it was time to shift, there's this place in us that wants to be comfortable. We still want to be in this comfort zone, right? And so I just realized, like, I can't go anywhere, and no other motivation or no other inspiration is going to come until I decide to make this shift. And so because I'm so motivated, and some of you are very much like this, you've been driven all your life, you've been hyper motivated. Like, it don't take nothing for you to start something and begin something. When I came into this season of feeling no inspiration, no motivation, like, it scared me. Because I was just like, I've never been this person. I've always been on the go. Like, from the time that I started doing hair in my parents' laundry room, I've been on this go. And then God shifted me into this season of, all right, there's another part of you that has to become. There's another part of you that you have to become aware of. And it has not been expressed just yet. So you don't recognize it. But it surprises me that even my friends, they already seen it. And so much of who you are is so already there. It's so already probably things that you've expressed, but you just haven't necessarily seen the greatness in it just yet. Like, I love writing poetry, right? I'm gonna give you an example. I love writing poetry, and I like writing captions, but I've never considered myself a writer. Because I'm like, I've never identified as being an author. I've never identified as being, there's some people who just write. You know what I'm saying? They write novels, they write screenplays, I'm not that person, but I can write a poem every now and again. And so there was a part of me that was rejecting the title of being a writer because I'm thinking, oh, a writer does this, or though that's a writer over there, but me, I'm not a writer, or oh, I'm not a poet. I just write. I'm a person that just likes writing poetry from time to time. And so we trick ourselves out of the life that God has for us because we're so stuck on labels, and we start calling ourselves something other than what it actually is, or we say we can't identify with that. So some of us not becoming is we're succumbing to the traditional, conventional way of things being done. And God is so counterculture. He is so non-traditional. Whatever's going to happen in your life, in whatever way it's going to happen, it's not going to be anything that goes according to the world standards. So you might think, well, just like me, I'm not a writer, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, or who do I think I am to start doing something new? Because I might have other friends and family members that do it, and I'm not like that. Right? And so when we start getting into this mental comparison, this is what kind of like, it stops us from becoming. We start succumbing to all of these ideas that keep us in a box. How many of you right now feel like there is something that you are supposed to be doing right now that maybe somehow in your mind you have tricked yourself out of it? I just you could just tell me yes, give me a yes, or give me a 1. That you know there's something that you're supposed to be doing, but somehow or another you tricked yourself out of it. I want to know if it's just me. If you're brave enough, write the thing down. If it's just one word, I know I'm supposed to do this. You don't even have to write all that. Just write the thing down, because there's so much power in expressing it. There's so much power in you putting it out there, because now you're bringing it out of the first dimension, out of the unseen world, and bringing it into the seen world. Have you documented it yet? Is it documented? Somebody said I'm supposed to be a speaker. Come on, Serena. When you identify it, somebody said ministry. The identification is the first thing. And as you identify it, even if it scares you, business, you have to ask yourself, why does it scare me? What is it about this title? What is it about this industry that makes me feel like I cannot do it? It's the identification of what it is and the identification of what it is that's holding you back in your mind. Helping children, writing, speaker and coach. God, give me the courage, and I thank you that you have shown me that this is who I already am, right? This is what you say out of your mouth. Let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart be acceptable in his sight. When I think about words being acceptable to God, I feel like it's almost as if they need to be in agreement with him. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart. And when we think about the heart is the subconscious mind. And it's what you think beneath the surface. What do you really believe about you? Do those things line up? Do the words that you're speaking and what you believe in your heart about yourself, does it agree? Is it in alignment with what he said? So for those of you who wrote, I'm writing, speaker, business, have you started to now begin to proclaim, to declare out of your mouth what God said? See, because this is the thing we have to do. In order to become, we have to believe. But how do we believe a thing if we're not repeating a thing? This may be something that you may have never wrote before. Maybe it is something that you wrote before, but how often are you repeating this thing to yourself? See, the thing is, in order to, as I said, become, you have to believe. But in order to believe, you have to start retaining it. Repetition is the mother of retention. Are you programming yourself? Or by default, are you just deciding to continue to go about life as per usual? I always say this, if you keep living today like yesterday, your tomorrow will forever be the same. From this day forward, I will now begin to announce myself, address myself. This doesn't have to be in front of anybody. As that which God says I am. I am a humanitarian. And maybe all the words don't necessarily come to your heart and your mind right now. But then as God begins to identify you, then you ask him for wisdom to God, show me how this is going to actually play out in my life. Lord, continue to direct me on this path. I thank you that you put in my heart that I'm a writer. I thank you that you put in my heart that I'm a humanitarian. I know you're calling me to become. Help my belief. But you have to do your work. Nothing happens out the sky. Before I got here, I had to shift my mind. I had to program my mind daily. Because if we don't do it daily, by default, we become the pawns and the puppets of this world system and this society. And let me just say that its job and its goal is to keep you from becoming. The job and the goal of this world, these devices, the entertainment or the detainment, is to keep you from becoming. I say this, and I know people probably think like, oh, dang, she crazy. Like, I chose to turn my TV off because I realized that I was not going to be able to become if I succumbed to the images that they were projecting and pushing out. Oh, I'm not that. Everything that's pushed out to you is limitations. Everything that God speaks to you is boundless. He's saying, no, you're more. Expand. Come on now. Do bigger, be bigger, believe bigger. How much are you pouring into yourself? Because we don't know. It's almost like there's a word. It's like the subliminal poisoning. It's a subliminal programming that takes place, when we don't take charge of programming ourselves. So going back to repetition is a mother of retention. As we begin to retain the truth, come on now, and we go from the dimension of our minds, the temporal thoughts, the ones that pass through our minds, and then we get to a place where our mind catches it and it begins to seep deep down into our heart. We start to become that thing. We start to believe it so strongly that we now walk boldly in that thing. And so what transformed in me, which is the very same thing that I believe will transform in you, is that I began to believe. At first, when I used to say, I'm a speaker, I was speaking those things that God was saying about me, and I was coming into agreement. I was saying it like a little mouse. I'm a world-renowned speaker. I had all these declarations, and I would just say them out loud at home, and halfway believe them. What? When I say them now, you can't tell me I don't believe. Why? Because I programmed myself to the point where I recognized who I was. It was like, oh, God, you saying this about me? I don't see it. But the more I say it, the more the wipers, start clean. Y'all ever had some dirty glasses on? Y'all ever picked up somebody else's glasses and you can't really see? like, dang, let me clean these. Let me clean these things off. I hate wearing dirty glasses. Look, I can't even see nothing right now. Girl, I'm blind. Let me clean my glasses off so I can see. And so the more come on, that's good, God. The more you begin to say what God says and come into agreement this is what he's saying. It's aligning your eyes. It's bringing correction to what you actually see and what you understand about yourself. You can see now. I can see clear. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles, and I know I can overcome those obstacles because greater is he that is in me. Are we going to become all of who God already created us to be? Or are we going to succumb to the pressure? It's an active decision. It's a conscious decision to become every day. Those who become great, you best believe they have a routine. You best believe that there's a recipe and they're not doing the things that the everyday person does. If you go Google and look up the success habits of the highly successful, they program themselves. They get to a place where they believe so boldly about who they are. They become that person before they come into the physical manifestation or the circumstances of it. Are we there? Are you with me? I got like 10 minutes. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask me. But I really want you to get this. We have no time to succumb to the pressure. But we succumb because we allow this world to lull us, Lull. It's like they just seduce us into a sleep. The Bible says, awake thou that, come on, God, awake thou that sleepeth, and Christ will give you life. The life that he wants to give you is the life that you deserve, the life that he's prepared for you. But when you have been lulled to sleep, people say they woke, but they don't have no concept of being woke. You woke because you got all this information that serves you no good, all this history and all these facts. But what real fruit does it have in your life? I mean, that's no disrespect, but when you know the truth about who you are, there is an awakening. Come on now, wake me up, Lord. Open my eyes, Father. Enlighten the eyes of my understanding. Y'all, I'm silly right now. Become. I use this example. I kept telling myself, me personally, Essence, I kept saying to myself, I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, I have nothing to say. God kept telling me through for different people, they was like, you supposed to speak, da 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 da, and I just be like, what? And in my mind, I kept saying to myself, God, I don't have anything to say. Like, why do you keep sending people and keep placing in my heart and keep like agitating this part of me? I don't see it. And he just like, wake up, girl. Wake up to who you are. So in order to wake up, we have to know what the truth is. We have to become aware of what I'm great. It's in you already, but you have to know it and you have to believe it and you have to recite it until you, come on now, because when you recite it, you invite it. You invite what you recite. But see, the thing is, sometimes people are inviting the wrong things because they're reciting the wrong things. They're reciting the things that maybe look good to the eye, or the carnal things. No, and recite the things that's going to enliven your spirit. Recite the things that God has showed you that just don't make no sense. Recite those things. Invite those things, and as you begin to shift your mind, I'm telling you, as your mind shifts, we hear change your mind, change your life. And that thing is so simple. And it's just like so many things that we hear. It's like, but how? How do I actually go in and like, I wish I could just open my brain up and just, let me just change this. Let me change. No, it don't work like that. No, it don't work like that. What's the last book you read? What podcasts are you listening to? How are you framing and shaping your mind? There are things that I will listen to over and over and over again. What's up, Carol? What's up? I'm missing these comments, y'all. Because why? Because just because I heard it don't mean I got it. Listen, until I get it, until I'm walking in it, I don't have it. And because of that, I'm going to continue to repeat over and over again until I start walking in it. Some of us, we listen to something, one thing, but ooh, that was good. Ooh, that got me hyped. Ooh, that. And then 5 years down the road, your life is still the same. You ain't became nothing, right? And that's not a knock. That's just to say that stay right there. Consume that thing until you become that thing. Whatever it is that you are looking to become, for those of you who wrote a few minutes ago about what you've been shown, who you believe that you're being called to become, we got to get to this place of reciting. Listen, to it become a broken record. Until everybody around you be like, girl, you still saying that? Yep. I'd rather say that and work on becoming that than to stay here. I'm trying to shift. Somebody say I'm trying to shift. If we're really going to become, there's a shifting that has to take place. There's an uncomfortable place that we have to get into. Come on now, get out the cocoon. Become the butterfly. Thank you, cuz. What's up, Alexandria? Yeah, speaking of that, are y'all with me tonight? I'm about to get out of here. If there's any questions or any final words, just let me know. If not, hopefully you'll watch the replay. I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube since it cut off. Is it going to be on YouTube? I don't know. I like that little analogy God gave. God be giving me an analogy. Like, take the... Anyway, I'm silly. Anywho, y'all, I'm going to become. My life and my destiny is based on decisions. And I decide to challenge myself, to get uncomfortable, to shift even when I have no clue if I'm going to stand on something solid. I'm going to shift because I can't stay here anymore. This place no longer serves me. It no longer inspires me. I feel like, this is good. I feel like I'm called to soar, but I'm staying so low. And this is why I keep on running into the same circumstances. At some point, you're going to, you ain't better than, but you are better than certain circumstances. So that means you just got to elevate. And that's it. So it cut off. And how long was that? Maybe 20 minutes? I might as well just go live for about 5 more minutes. Man, that's whack, man.
One was 24 minutes.
That was 24?
Yeah.
So what do you think is going on?
Probably.
Go live for just 5 more minutes and then I'm going to leave. The devil is a liar.
Tell the guy.
Hmm?
Tell the guy you're going to run late.
No, it's only 35. I ain't even. It's the thrill of the chase. Dang, Martin. Cough one more time on my life. All right, y'all. Listen, tonight is just kind of crazy. This is didn't it do it last time too?
Last time was because of the Lula.
Yeah, we just keep on getting cut off. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like it's the enemy. Sometimes it be us. It be our side. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. I just want to come back and formally say goodbye. I'm so sorry that it just cut off like that. But I'm gonna be back live next Thursday. See or no?
See.
That's the goal. The goal is to be back next Thursday around this time. I know, from week to week, the time varies just because, things be like that. But somebody said, I saw your iconic style in BK the other day and had to educate the room. Thank you. Thank you. I keep getting off too. Me too. You ran to YouTube. You ran to the YouTube live. Tarina was like, I'm going to get this word. I'm going to get this word. Well, hopefully it'll still save on YouTube. Hopefully the first part saved. If not, you know what we can do? We can just re-upload everything together and just make it all one thing. But thank you so much all for joining me. Hopefully you got a word. Hopefully that you didn't just get on, because about 5 minutes ago it was on a popping. It was on a popping. But I'm about to get out of here. But you all have an amazing evening, and I will see you next week. And again, you're rare. You are called to become. You are called to lead. And leaders leave the pack. And they leave the pack not because they think they're better, but because God has called them to greater. And when you accept that and you accept all that comes with it, you will leave your mark. You will make history. You will be Black history. I believe that. I believe that. It's been everywhere for years and always seen of Project. Thank you. Thank you. So for those of you, okay, let me just give y'all let me hype y'all to something. So for those of you who don't know, I don't even know if I could even find it. That's a shame. But so I created a hairstyle back in like 2011, and that hairstyle was on the cover of Essence magazine. Oh. And it was on the cover of Essence magazine. It's been all over the world. And I actually went to London and seen it. I've had clients go to Portugal and send me pictures. And it's been all over the world. And so I'm just so grateful. But I say that to say that there are so many great things that will come out of you when you begin to like just do the things that you know that are inside of you, and don't be afraid. I'm going to tell that story in its full next week about like how I created that hairstyle and how it went viral and all that stuff. To God be the glory. Okay, I don't sing, but All right, I'm about to be out of here. Y'all have a blessed night. Take care and peace. Take me out with the fader, please. Can you take me out with the fader? Just because I be liking how it sounds. Bye, y'all. Good night.